I've got to tell you, all this coaching chatter going on. Mike Vrabel this, Mike McCarthy that. Um, the list of the head coaches goes on. And I had a long drive back from the Christmas week that I spent 2 weeks in Illinois. And on a 12-hour drive, I was talking with Jason UK when he was visiting with us, and we were sitting in the hot tub hanging out together and talking Bears, smoking some cigars, drinking some beer. And I had that's a lie. We weren't smoking cigars, just drinking beer. And I kept thinking to myself, who do I want as the next head coach? And I couldn't come up with an answer for myself. And then I had a 12-hour drive home, and it came to me in deep thought. Josh McCown. Josh McCown, Cliff Victoria says. What's up, Cliff? Listen, this is why I wanted to come on here tonight and have this open discussion with you. By the way, I got sideswiped by PJ. He's going to join us in a little bit. Threw me all off. God, I love PJ. Threw me all off, though. I was all prepped for this. Now I'm like, I can't wait to talk to PJ. So, listen, hear me out, guys. Josh McCown has played for 12 different teams. He's Jim Harbaugh. I pounded the table for Jim Harbaugh. I absolutely pounded the table for Jim Harbaugh, Cliff. You know it. He's gone. It's not happening. Do we want a Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel is a defensive coordinator who's going to hire. Mike Vrabel's downfall as a Titans head coach was when LaFleur left. And then he eventually got fired. We don't want another defensive coordinator. Mr. Mayhem, what's up? We don't. Do we really want a Ben Johnson? A guy that we don't know what he has to offer. Has he played a down in the NFL? Does he know what it's like to play in the NFL? What's up, Armando? Thanks for joining us. Does he know how to play in the NFL? Ben Johnson. My answer is no. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on him because, quite frankly, my brain went to this guy right now on my ride home from Illinois. 12-hour drive, 14 with traffic. The answer for me is Josh McCown. And I'm going to explain to you the reasons why. So let me just quickly pull up his, stupid Wikipedia page. All right. And I'll read it to you. Josh Treadwell McCown. What a cool middle name. Born July 4th. We can't get any more patriotic than that. 1979. Oh, look how young he is. American professional football coach and former quarterback who is the quarterback's coach for the Minnesota Vikings. He played college football for the SMU Mustangs and Sam Houston Bearcats. And was selected by the Arizona Cardinals in the third round of the 2002 draft. He went on to play 18 seasons across 12 franchises, largely in a backup role. Now, let me ask you guys, how important is this for us to have the next coach be so in tune with being a quarterback that he sees through the eyes of the quarterback? He teaches the quarterback through the eyes of a quarterback. Great quarterbacks either don't coach in the NFL or they don't succeed when they try. Look at John Elway. Couldn't find a quarterback to save his damn life as a GM, the general manager, for crying out loud. So you have all this experience already, and I'm not even done. He attended Jacksonville High School in Jacksonville, Texas, named the East Texas Player of the Year, 4,022 yards, 27 touchdowns, blah, 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 selected by the Cardinals in the third round of the 22 draft. Went on to the Detroit Lions, the Oakland Raiders, the Miami Dolphins, Carolina Panthers, the Hartford Colonials, the San Francisco 49ers, the Chicago Bears, the Buccaneers, the Browns, and the Jets, which, by the way, he worked with and backed up Sam Darnold, who he's now coaching for the Vikings. So this man has played in this many offenses as a backup. Think about that. Really think about that. How many offenses has he been forced to learn? How many offenses can he pull together to make his own? Do we really need him to call plays for another team? It's been reported by Adam Schefter that I knew I was going to do this. Josh McCown has been requested to be interviewed by the Jets. I know it's the Jets, to be their head coach. Requested by, along with Flores. So if right now, before he's ever called plays for a team, and another team, I don't care what that team is, has any kind of inkling to have any belief in this kid, which as I go further, I think you might see why, then I don't care if he hasn't called plays. Do you think that Kevin O'Connell couldn't call plays if he was just hired, before he was an offensive coordinator to be the Vikings head coach? Do you think that he would be any worse of a head coach? Do you think Matt LaFleur really needed to call the plays? Like, some people just have it. And I believe this guy has it. By the way, look at his picture on Wikipedia. Like, come on. Football. Football, football, football. Quarterback, quarterback, quarterback. Let's go on. So he played for all of these teams, and I have a list here of who he played for. He played for Dave McGinnis, laughable, Dennis Green, Rod Marinelli. He was also part of the 0-13 team, guys. So losing, he understands as well. He's been there. He's done that. He has seen it all, guys. There's no reason in my mind, this man cannot just leapfrog OC and just become the head coach. And by the way, when he was our quarterback during the Trestman era, he was one of the bright spots on that team. In fact, I'm just going to pull this here, and I have this ready for you, because this is courtesy of, I'll get to that in a second. Let's see, where is it? Courtesy of Chicago Recap. I put the link to the description in the show. You guys can go check this out for yourself. And while I'm talking about him, and while I'm going on a rant, let me just play this for you in the background and remind all of you this season that he had for the Bears. This was, to me, probably the pinnacle of his career to himself. Because when he played for this team, this was probably the first time that he was actually the leader and playing at a high level, the level that he always thought he could play at. This Mark Trestman team here, when we kicked the shit out of the Cowboys on national television, when we did we beat the Packers this game? I think we actually did beat the Packers this game. This guy was in a zone for about 5 games there. And Mark Trestman said, we're putting in Jay Cutler because Jay Cutler got this huge contract 2 years ago. And we're not just going to, sit Jay Cutler when he finally comes back from injury, even though this guy is playing at such a high level. It pissed me off then. Everyone talked about his leadership then and what he meant to the team. And I thought they should have kept the hot hand in the game. And as you can see here, watching these highlights, that, thank you to Chicago Recap, that he was the glue that held that Trestman team together. And so, to me, this guy is a football guy. He's a quarterback. He's a man's man. They talked about him then being such good, so good with the team that everyone could see him being a head coach someday. And so I ask you, with a quarterback drafted number 1 on our team, with the potential that he has and the numbers that he put up on such a shitty team with all this chaos and transfer of coaches, that wouldn't it behoove this Bears team to go get someone like that actually has played this game as much as Josh McCown has? Somebody that can teach the game through the eyes of a quarterback. Because Matt Nagy was a false quarterback. He preached that. But Matt Nagy never played in the NFL. He was like a UFL dude for however long, or a Canadian football. I don't even think he was that high. This guy has done it. He's seen it. He's been there. He's done it. He knows offenses. You cannot tell me he cannot put together a playbook. And even if he doesn't call plays in his first season or two, you can't tell me that he wouldn't have the ability to put together a staff, knowing all of the bright minds in the NFL that can coach offense. And that is why, for me, this is just one of many reasons for me, Josh McCown is the answer. I don't need to see him become an offensive coordinator. I don't want a defensive coordinator in a Mike Vrabel. As good of a head coach as he is, the downfall was losing his offensive coordinator. I don't want offensive coordinator turnover. You guys don't either. We all know we don't. So why not become the team that actually hires the guy out of nowhere, and that guy becomes the leader of this team? I'm so sick and tired of hearing leader of men. Of course he should be a leader of men. But what defines that? It's his character. And you could see right through Matt Eberflus. You can't see through Josh McCown. God damn it. These fucking names have to be so similar, don't they? Josh McCown. You can't see through him. Josh McCown is my pick. PJ has been hanging out in the background, trying to hijack my Josh McCown rant. So let's bring him in, because I know you got something to say, my man.
Hello, people.
I had to give you your time just to write it all down.
Well, I mean, I can honestly say I liked McCown as a quarterback when he was here. I agree with you that when Cutler came back, we should have stayed with McCown. I agree with that. But the concerns I have for McCown, I wrote down in chat, and I asked a question. First of all, my question is, if he's only been an offensive quarterback coach, can he call plays? Can he do it successfully, as in, can he do it with rhythm, with nuance? Because he's never done it. So I'm wondering, can he do it? I mean, I'm not saying he can't. I just, again, don't know, because he hasn't done it. Unlike O'Connor. Now, I know O'Connor was the offensive coordinator in San Francisco before he went to Minnesota. He didn't call plays in San Francisco, but he was the offensive coordinator, so he was in charge of the offense behind Shanahan. So, whereas McCown is only an offensive quarterback coach, so he's not even the offensive coordinator. So that he's so far removed from that. That's why I wonder. I'm not saying he can't. I just wonder.
He's not. He's one step removed from. He's not that far removed from. He's not.
Because O'Connell's calling the plays.
No. McCown is a quarterback's coach.
Right.
So
But
the next step is offensive coordinator.
that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is where O'Connell, when he was in San Francisco,
I
he
got
was
you.
one step away.
Right. But
McCown is 2 steps away right now. That's why I'm like, and
But-
he's never gotten higher than that. Even when he was in Carolina, he was a quarterback coach there.
But that's like saying Nagy was an offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, right? You can agree with that, right?
Nagy called offense for the Chiefs and during
For one
preseason.
game.
Yes. So I mean, but he was an offensive coordinator. But that's what I'm saying. McCown is a quarterback coach. He's not even the offensive coordinator. So he's so far removed from calling the plays that I'm like, how would he do?
I honestly don't think it matters. And everyone that's asking the same question that just hopped in, what's up, Seymour Butts? What's up, the Scrolls? Armando, great to see you again. Turbo Duran, never seen you, but thank you for joining us. Broski Bear, thanks for hanging out with us. Chad Spieger, Mr. Mayhem, all you guys, love you guys. Thank you, appreciate it. Vizzo Joe, Kenny, you guys are awesome. I said that in my opening rant that I don't think it's. If Kevin O'Connell never called, if he was just the offensive coordinator without calling plays, he was never a play caller. So he was only able to watch the plays called by Shanahan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he come from the Rams though? O'Connell?
He could have, but he was right. Well, he was the offensive coordinator, whether it was the Rams.
So he was watching McVay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what McCown's doing. What made O'Connell was that he was similar to McCown. He played backup quarterback for a dozen teams, a lot of teams, and he was a career backup. Those are the guys that are sitting back studying. They're those are the ones that are really the teachers because they're helping out the starting quarterback. They're helping out the quarterback room. They're becoming a coach in their own right. So that's what makes O'Connell a good coach without ever having actually called plays. And for me, it's you want to have a little bit of the youth in the room. You want to have a little bit of the meatball, and you can see the meatball, the little bit of meatball that it takes to play football in McCown. He's played in so many offenses.
I mean,
he's commanded the room.
Has he ever commanded the room though?
If you see the short, let me play you the short. So let's see. This is a short that Carl put together for us. Awesome job. Oh, never mind. There we go. So in these clips, you'll see him commanding the room while he's on a different team, or is this the wrong one? Let's see. Oh, this is the wrong one. Sorry, my bad. It's this one. So in this short that Carl made for us, look, he's showing all the different teams he played for.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing all of the. Look at that. He's coaching the guy in the sideline when he's in a sling. He's coaching Darnold there. There's another shot of him like in the locker room, coaching the locker room up, right here. Like this is a career backup quarterback. You can't tell me that this guy cannot command a room. You can't. There's nothing that you can say that can tell me he cannot do this. And that's why the show is dedicated to it. That's why 2 shorts have now been dedicated to it. That's why I am pounding the table because Jim Harbaugh, yeah, he coached for Stanford and all that shit beforehand. But Jim Harbaugh is very similar to this guy in the fact that like they're very similar people. Jim Harbaugh was more of a starter for his career, but played in a lot of different offenses and knows the game. And that's what I want. I think a McCarthy would be an overcorrection. A Vrabel would be a defensive guy with an offensive coordinator you're going to have to worry about, good or bad. From there, what's left? I love Vrabel as a coach, but we have got to focus on the quarterback room right now. And To me, that's what I see in McCown. That's what I see in McCown.
Well, I think that's where you're wrong about concentrating on the quarterback room. I think the quarterback room is important, but that's where we make our mistake at by just concentrating on the quarterback room because that's what Nagy came in to do.
Well, by that I mean you need to have someone that is. It's almost like second thought. You know what I mean? With a McCown, with a Jim Harbaugh, it would be almost a second thought to be coaching to be working up a quarterback because that's their position. But get a Robert Saleh as your defensive coordinator, or even if you, like I said, if you didn't want to take chances of calling plays yet because it's your first year as head coach, he should know somebody. I can guarantee he would know somebody that can call plays.
But are you not concerned with his ability to be a leader of men?
A leader of men or a leader of men?
A leader.
A leader?
Yeah.
Like a leader of men?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. With a T or a D? I saw somebody saying that in the score chat. Everyone keeps talking about a leader of men. We don't need a leader of men.
I wonder. I mean, I'm not saying I'm out on him. I'm just not as convinced as you are because I just wonder whether or not he can do it. Because again, the most he's ever done was be a quarterback coach.
This is why I wanted to have this open discussion with you guys in chat because I want to debunk everything you're saying. Brosy Bear, we need an experienced head coach and an experienced offensive coordinator. This entire organization is a disaster. I agree with you on the latter of that. It's too much for a first-time head coach to handle. That I do not agree with. And it's my opinion. I appreciate your opinion. You agree with him, PJ?
Yes. Okay. I actually agree with
that. My opinion on this is sometimes it just takes the right guy. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if he's a first-time head coach. Like, you ever meet that guy that was that guy? You ever like seen the guy that was that guy?
Yeah.
I see that in McCown. He is to me, I see that guy. I see how many locker rooms has he been in? You can't tell me he can't run a team. You can't tell me it.
That should not be the qualifier. That he's been in 12 different locker rooms.
18 seasons, 12 different locker rooms.
I mean, that shouldn't be the qualifier. I mean,
it shouldn't be the qualifier, but it does make a difference. Ask Dan Campbell.
Well, that's what I say. I go back to
Campbell never called plays.
Agreed. Now I agree with you there. And how did Dan Campbell start off? Very slow.
Yeah, but it was it was planned. I mean, they traded
Stafford.
Thank you. And then they built off of that.
But here's the thing though. In Chicago, I don't know if they would actually be patient enough. We have shown that we want instant success. McCown come in here and have 2 losing seasons. I mean, he can come in first year, have 5 wins, second year, have 7 wins. And they're like, well, you know what? He ain't doing it quick enough. He got to go. We have no patience in this city. So I think that's a detriment to him. And then the fact that, again, that I wonder, and I just wonder this, because I'm trying to compute it in my mind, why hasn't he ever been elevated to offensive coordinator anywhere?
He's only been dude, he just finished playing his last season in 2019 with Sam Darnold. No, sorry. 2018 was with Sam Darnold. 2019 was with Philadelphia. And then he went to like coaching, I think high school football.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got into coaching. He wasn't a quarterback's coach last year, was he? He got promoted this year to the Vikings.
He was a quarterback coach last year in Carolina and got fired when Wright got fired.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But
so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, before that though.
Before that, I don't think he was even a quarterback coach.
I think he was coaching high school football. If you're coaching high school football, you're still a head coach. You got it on your resume, bro.
We better not say that too loud, bro. We're gonna go with him being a high school head coach. Come on, man.
And somebody keeps putting in the chat, they're gonna hire the next St. Viator head coach. Dude, are you high? Yes, I am, Dennis. I am. I actually am high. Thank you for asking.
I think, honestly, though, I agree with you. I think he could be possibly down the road, but because, like Cliff said, it's the fact that the experience isn't there. He's only spent 2 years in the NFL in the coaching ranks as a quarterback coach. Even Campbell, he was a tight ends coach or something special, whatever he was doing, interim coach down in Miami. Then he was a coach somewhere else. I mean, so he had more times a coach. 2 years. I'm sorry, a year and a half because he got fired last year.
Okay, let me pose the question a little bit differently. Okay. Everyone here, PJ, would you rather go, let's hire Mike Vrabel and bring in Josh McCown as offensive coordinator, and then Josh McCown does exactly what I think he's going to do, only he's only running half the team. He's running the offensive side, and then he's gone in 2 years and becomes the head coach of insert here, and he's in the playoffs the first year, maybe even year 2. And then we're stuck re-signing another offensive coordinator to replace him, and we can't quite get back to what he gave us. And then we end up firing our freaking head coach again. And then Josh McCown is over here because he had 2 years under his belt as offensive coordinator to actually become a head coach of said team, takes him to the playoffs. Everyone's jealous that I wish we would have hired him. What I'm saying is, look to the future, guys.
You got to trust the process.
Look to the future.
You got to trust the process.
The process has already been the process. He's played for so fucking long and so many offenses, so many teams, so many regimes, so many different coaches, so many wins and losses, took over a team in the Chicago Bears and hit like the zone of his career pretty much. Got defunct back down to like head coaching high school football.
And coaching. Playing and coaching is different. As great as Tom Brady was as a player, I don't think he would be a good enough coach.
Because Tom Brady is great. Everything came to him. He did have to earn it, but once he had it, it was just like it was free. Josh McCown has been struggling to get to where Tom Brady is his whole life, and had one brief moment with the Bears where he was like in that zone. And then after that, got benched over Cutler. Should have just rode the hot hand and see what happened. We went to the playoffs that year. But he's always been striving for that. That's what makes great head coaches, because they're able to see they're not, everything's not just handed to them at some point. They're always struggling for it.
Okay, so let's skip the part about play calling. Do you think he's experienced enough to control or handle a locker room, to build a culture?
Based on NFL experience alone, yes.
To build a culture.
Yes. That's why I'm having this. That's why this show exists right now.
Why?
Because of everything I just said. He's been through the ringer. He's played on so many teams. He's learned so many different offenses. He's gelled with so many different guys.
But that's not what it takes. That's not what it takes to build a culture. Because right now this
But
team
your
has
personality is what connects you to everybody in every
it's
one of those cultures.
leadership.
Right.
It's leadership in how to again get guys to play together as well as have a designated plan. So if you've never been in that position of designing plays, of calling plays, you've never been in that position. So you're trying to do that as well as build culture, not only on the offensive side, but the defensive side as well. And again, you only had a year and a half of NFL coaching at the quarterback coaching level.
Colossal 66 says, "Slow down, Jim Shoe. Can't make this. McCown can't make it in this market right here."
And that's
all right, fine. Talk me out of it.
But that's the other thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, think about it. Chicago culture. Because if I'm not mistaken, was we not hailing Eberflus last year? Then this year, then we was also hailing Poles. And it turns quickly. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if McCown could handle or withstand when things are not going well. I don't think he'll be able to make it. Not that he's fragile. It's more so that McCaskey or whoever be like, you know what? We got 2 losing seasons. We can't see
You
this out.
nailed it. See? You nailed it. This is what I've been taught. This goes back to how many shows almost damn near gave up doing this anymore because of the McCaskies. If the McCaskies are going to be the problem forever, then what the fuck are we Bears fans for?
It's not that. It's the fact that I think we as fans are so impatient.
Oh, we are.
Because the problem is we start building something, and because the person or the player is not perfect this year, we're looking for a replacement. And that's wherein lies the problem, because we want everything to be perfect or close to perfect right off the top, and at the most we give them 1 year. And after that 1 year, because next year everybody in the chat or all the fans going to be expecting Caleb to be an All-Pro next year, and it doesn't work like that. That's what I think one of the biggest mistakes we made was getting rid of David Montgomery because of that leadership. That leadership, because true leadership in the locker room comes from the players. And when you get rid of your leaders in that locker room, that's what we had this year. No leadership. Brisker was hurt. Montgomery was gone. Daniels was gone. Roquan Smith was gone. Eddie Jackson was gone. You can say they were bad players, but they were at least leaders. We had no leadership in the locker room, and it showed.
Broski. It's not freaking magic. You need more than Dolph Lundgren's look-alike to be a good head coach. Or Dolph Lundgren's looks. All right. But here's the thing, too. He's played for the Bears for 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. He's dealt with this media.
Mm-hmm.
He has a leg up on it. He knows what it's like. As a head coach, I think he could deal with the media.
I don't know about that. Because, again, he's had a year and a half. He didn't make it to a whole year last year. It was only a half a year in Carolina. A half a year in Carolina, a whole year in Minnesota. And granted, the half a year in Carolina was a disaster. He had a great year in Minnesota. So where's the adversity at? Because the adversity in Carolina, he only lasted a half a year and got booted with the coach. Why then did he get booted with the coach where the offensive coordinator did not? The offensive coordinator was Thomas Brown in Carolina. He stayed, but the quarterback coach and the head coach got booted. Now, I'm not saying that Tepper, the owner of Carolina, is just great owner. But I'm wondering, why did they fire him? They didn't fire the head coach and the offensive coordinator. They fired the head coach and the quarterback coach.
Because they're incompetent. They couldn't see what I'm trying to tell you guys right now. And neither will the Bears, by the way. I'm just, this is never going to happen. This is all just speculate. This is what I want. I personally am not going to be happy. I will not be happy. I will be a grumpy ass. I just turned 50. Time for grumpy old man to settle in. Once we fuck this up again, because we're going to hire some McCaskey, the firm that's involved, everyone that's involved in this. The firm of people.
Oh, okay.
Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, George McCaskey, Jerry Feinstein, fucking Liz Taylor, whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah.
This is Ryan Poles' job. This is his job. This is not a firm of people. By the way, Jerry Feinstein is part of a firm. So again, let me just put my fucking glasses on upside down and wear my jersey backwards, because this team will never do anything correctly anyways. So it's not like they're going to go out and hire Josh McCown. But for me, because I know in my heart of hearts, I feel it in my gut, and I know listen, it's a year or two. It's a year early at the least. But it's like would you draft Patrick Mahomes first if you could redo the draft?
First overall?
Yeah, in that draft.
The
Cleveland Browns would have taken Patrick Mahomes in that draft over
as a Bears personnel person.
I'm just saying to the Cleveland Browns, let's just say they took Jared Myles Garrett or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If we were sitting there at 2. If we did that draft, we'd all take Patrick Mahomes, wouldn't we?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm scared of the Bears drafting quarterbacks. I'm to the point now where after 3 quarterbacks drafting in the last 10 years in the first round, I'm scared about our development of quarterbacks.
I am too, but my question is, if you could redo that draft, the Mahomes draft, he would go number 1 in that draft by all accords, right?
I think most people would say yes.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm saying is, if in 3 years from now, Josh McCown is the hot coach and everyone wants him, and the team that gets him is the envy of the rest of the league, then why not, when you're sitting here with your fucking dick in your hand and you're going to fuck this up anyway in 3 years, or you're going to be stuck with a coach that is not doing anything and it's going to pass you by. This is the only moment that you have to get that guy. And I believe in my gut that he is going to be the next hot coach. That he's going to be the next good, if not great coach. He's going to be the next coach. He's going to be the next LaFleur. He's going to be the next McConnell. He's going to be the next McVay. He's going to be in that category of coaches that we're all talking about trading for.
You might not be wrong.
So you're sitting here right now. Why not just do it?
Because he does not have a body of.
Does it matter?
He doesn't have a body of work to show that.
Does it matter?
Because you can't go on gut feelings when you're talking about spending millions of dollars that you're going to have to pay this coach, even if you fire him after 1 year, like New England did.
A lot less millions than you would going for a
Ben.
But
you still going to have to pay him. I mean, so if he comes here and be a colossal failure, you got to pay him this money because you signed him to a 4-year contract or whatever. So you don't want to do that. So the point being, he has no body of work that shows that he is that guy. Now, like you said, you have coming out. You have a gut feeling. That's what you have. I have a gut feeling,
yeah.
But there's no body of work that says that.
There is nothing but a body of work. It's just not as a coach. It's basically
that's what he's getting hired to do, though, right?
It's not as an official coach. It's as a coach on a team. Every team he's been on, he's been a coach. That's his resume. Now he doesn't really need to be a coach, is my point. Like he's quarterback's coach. Fine. He just turned Sam Darnold into a freaking Pro Bowler. And you took a 14-3 record, for crying out loud.
Okay, can I use basketball as an analogy?
Oh.
Can I?
Yeah.
All right.
As long as it involves Michael Jordan.
For those of you in the chat, you may not know this, but I am a Laker fan. I have been a Laker fan since 1970. So I've always been a Laker fan. So point being, Magic Johnson was the leader of the basketball team as a point guard. He was a leader of men. He demonstrated
a leader of men or a leader of men.
There you go. So he was great. I mean, he led his team to 5 championships. 5. Now follow me. Once he retired and he became the head coach of the Lakers, he sucked.
Exactly, because he was a Hall of Famer. The great ones don't do shit. I already said that. Were you listening to me? It's the guys that haven't been great. They've been striving for greatness the whole life, never hit that pinnacle.
Okay, I got another one for you. Byron Scott. Byron Scott won 3 championships with the Lakers. Byron Scott won 3 championships with the Lakers. He became head coach.
And he was pretty good.
He sucked. He never won a championship. So the point is, just because you are a leader on the court, on the field, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a good head coach. That's the point I'm trying to make. I mean, like I said, he may be, but the fact that he's only been an NFL coach, quarterback coach, for 1.5 years is concerning for me.
Okay. And I can clearly see I am being just shot the fuck down out of the sky by the chat too. So you know,
a good discussion though.
All I'm saying is, and I listen, I'm not here to argue with any of you, and I value all of your opinions, and I'm glad that you have all shared with me your opposition to my opinion. But as long as this is on record right now, what's today? Tuesday, January 7th, that I'm letting you know I'm not going to be happy. Not going to be happy with any of these coaching candidates that they hire. I'm not. First off, there's a firm hiring them. There's a firm of Bears firm, which involves a firm. It's a firm of. It's a firm within a firm, and I don't trust it. And I'm going to sit back. I'm not going to predict a winning record again. I guarantee you, I'm not.
I'm curious though, why slick sophistication is so high on Doug Peterson. I mean that baffles me right there. I'm seeing it in the chat that he really likes Doug Peterson.
Well, let's be honest. Look what Doug Peterson did before he was injured. What's his name? He was having an MVP season before he blew out his knee.
This year?
No, when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, you know my Wentz. Okay.
Doug Peterson's Philadelphia Eagles, when they won the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz was on his way to an MVP season. And then he ended up winning the Super Bowl with
Foles.
Big Dick Foles. Or no, Foles, sorry.
Yeah, Foles, yeah.
So I can see his argument for Doug Peterson, because let's be honest. What's his name in Jacksonville? The quarterback. He's just not it.
Lawrence?
Yeah, he's not it.
No, I thought he was decent.
Yeah, he was decent. He's not anymore. He sucks.
If he was decent and Peterson is his coach, why did he not elevate him to be even better?
Because he sucks.
Who sucks? The coach or the player?
The player. The player sucks.
But he was decent.
Trevor Lawrence is not what he was supposed to be. We all know.
But he was decent.
He was decent. But that's all. He peaked at decent.
So the coach never elevated. He was decent
You
before
couldn't
Peterson
elevate him
got
because he sucked.
he was decent before Peterson got there. Then once Peterson got there,
No, Peterson took him to the playoffs.
okay, 1 year.
Yeah, and he peaked in that year. And now and it turns out he sucks. Maybe Doug
Okay.
Peterson could do better with Caleb Williams. I mean, I'm not sold. Listen, it's Josh McCown for me, guys. I laugh at me all you want. We'll see. We'll see. There's a receipt right now on January 7th. It's a receipt.
I'm just saying, if he can get some experience as a play caller or an offensive coordinator, then
he can go to another team and become their head coach. I understand what you're saying. Yes. Then we can sit back and go, I wish he was our head coach. I got it.
Well, okay, it kind of reminds me of when the Bears had John Fox. And if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Shanahan was coming from Cleveland and went to Atlanta to be the offensive coordinator. But he was already the offensive coordinator in Washington. Then he was the offensive coordinator in Cleveland. Then he went down to Atlanta. So we should have jumped on him then. But then even once John Fox, messed up here, and he, Shanahan ended up going to San Francisco. But that's what I'm saying. At least he had a body of work. Granted, in Washington, he was working under his dad, so I get it. But in Cleveland, he was the guy. McCown has never been the guy. And that's all I'm saying. He don't have the experience.
Yet.
I agree.
He's so close. My point is he's so close that it doesn't, at this point, it almost doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter. He could go on, he could become a Kevin McConnell and not call a single damn play, but become, be named the offensive coordinator. He's practically doing the same thing. He's involved in the same rooms. He sees the same things. He's part of the same game plans.
Well, the game plan is designed by the offensive coordinator with the help of the head coach. The head coach is a offensive guy, but the quarterback coach, he's just basically working with the quarterback,
which is part of the game plan.
Working with the quarterback, working on his fundamentals, working on his mechanics. Yeah, you have some game planning in there, but your majority of your job is working with the quarterback, not necessarily working with the team or working with the room.
All right. Well, since I clearly lost this battle. You guys have just shat all upon me right now. In chat.
You know what? We have 70 people in the chat. So they found this conversation to be at least entertaining, interesting, and thought-provoking, if nothing else.
That's absolutely true. And we'll see. We'll see. There'll be so many of you in chat going, I wish we would have signed Josh McCown as our head coach. And I'd be like,
impossible.
You should have seen me on my show bitching about it.
But you can't,
like in somebody else's chat, and I'll be like,
But you can't feel bad about it because, again, what the majority of the people in chat is saying is this lack of experience. Same thing I'm echoing. It's
okay. So I understood. Let him get some experience with some other team, becomes somebody else's head coach. I understand. So let's
even get him to the point where he's a offensive coordinator for the Vikings, if that's what he's going to be.
That's fine. It doesn't matter at this point. This is the coaching cycle. We're in it now. He's going to be a head coach before we fire our next dildo.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. Let's pick the dildo out of the lineup. Here's the list. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. Ben Johnson, yay. Never played in the NFL. I would love to have Ben Johnson. Yay. Ben Johnson, a holdover from a losing-ass team that was made offensive coordinator and has done exceptionally well as an offensive coordinator with the fucking best offensive line in the NFL. Ben Johnson, yay. That's my number one choice, guys. Talk me into that guy. Aaron Glenn, don't want defense. Vance Joseph, don't want defense. Drew Petzing. Oh, that sounds like a good McCaskey guy. We're looking at
the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, Petzing, Drew Petzing.
Arizona
remember I keep talking about
a ball of fire this year.
Remember I keep talking about you could put all the head coaches in the lineup, and we could pick out the guy that McCaskey's going to want. Drew Petzing. That's the first guy on my list. Oh, hopefully that's Drew Petzing, because that's totally a McCaskey guy. If it's not, if that's Mike Kafka, then raise him to number 1 on the list. Mike Kafka. Fucking vampire. Brian Flores. Let's get Brian Flores in the mix, even though he got a bunch of draft picks taken away from him.
Go back to that picture, bro. Go back to that picture,
That's
man.
totally a McCaskey. That's totally a McCaskey guy, huh?
Hey, you roll for that, bro. That gotta be Petsy, man. That is not Mike Kafka. Because wasn't Kafka here? Kafka, I thought, was here as a quarterback coach.
Oh, that's got to be. Oh, wait.
That's Petsy. That's Petsy.
Oh, that's totally Drew Petzing. Number 1 candidate. Here's your new head coach of the Chicago Bears, guys. Drew Petzing.
Oh, man. Man, he got to be the same size as Cairo Santos, right?
Yeah. Short guys are in.
Compared to the quarterback behind him.
Short guys are in, PJ. It's the new trend. 4 foot tall or slightly above. Brian Flores did such a great job with Miami. Yeah. Lost draft picks. That's totally him. Totally not a McCaskey guy. Mike McCarthy. Yeah. Mike McCarthy is the overreaction to the Mark Trestman era, just like John Fox was. Fuck Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, he's going back to Dallas.
Plus, I have called him fat ass Porky Pig for so long as the Packers coach. I can't possibly have him my own head coach. I have hated this fucking Porky Pig looking fuck for so long that I can't possibly make him my head coach. Todd Monken.
Isn't he the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, look what he's done with the Ravens.
Yeah.
Exciting.
It is pretty exciting, to be honest. That is pretty exciting. Well, I think Lamar's your MVP, but he may not get it because they're probably tired of giving it to him and want to give Josh a chance. But I think what he done with that offense this year, man, pretty amazing.
And then you have David Shaw.
I don't think the fact that he's been out of coaching, I think that may hurt him because he hasn't been a coach for a while, hasn't he?
Who?
David Shaw. Because he's no longer, I don't think he's at Stanford anymore. So
he's working in Denver in the front office as a senior personnel executive.
Okay.
It all comes down to the looks, though. What does David Shaw look like?
He's a tall, bald-headed black guy.
Looks just like Triple R. Well, I gotta present this. He does. Where's that one at? That's totally Triple R, dude. Come on. Where was I here? Let's see.
Now I think Brian Flores may be a good head coach. I don't know if it'd be a good one here. I think he may actually fit in New York.
Who?
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores. I want nothing to do with Brian Flores. You don't.
I was out on him, but I'm more in on him now. I think the fact that he owned up to mistreating Tua. So I can respect that. But I'm not saying I necessarily want him here. But I think he's turned the page per se on being a coach. However, Ben Johnson, man, I coached him Sunday night. My goodness.
That's your new head coach, guys. Drew Petzing, right there. That's your new head coach.
What's up, you wrong with that, though, bro.
Pick him out of the lineup, guys.
Hey, at least him and what's a kid? Him and Santos will be able to see eye to eye.
Oh my god, I'm waiting for fangs to start growing out of his teeth.
Oh, what about the good pig vomit? Did you see what he says? He brings a good point.
Does it involve Josh McCown?
Yeah, he said if Flores would bring Josh McCown with him, you should like that there, BCP.
No, I get. You're missing my point. You lose him as a head coach to some other team then. Damn it, people. Read the email. Oh, man. Yeah. There you go, Chad. Hire Drew Petzing. That's it. We should all start clamoring for this guy because
no.
Actually, you know what? No, because that's one of the reasons why I did this show tonight. I wanted to say that the McCaskies do listen to their fans.
Yes, they
do listen to their fans. I'm hoping that this Josh McCown thing will go viral. Come on, share it. Come on, share this rant with everyone.
Can we say
see it and they'll be like, "Whoa, well, there's 600 people that like Josh McCown. We'll hire him."
Can we say let's trade for Kyle Shanahan?
Now you're getting onto the bandwagon with Carl, where you want to start giving away draft capital that we desperately need to build an offensive line with, rather than going and getting a Josh McCown for $3 million a year.
Because it doesn't matter what draft capital you get if you don't have the right coach to coach. We need the right coach.
That's what I'm saying.
We need the right coach.
That's what I'm saying.
And Kyle Shanahan has shown in Washington, Cleveland, Atlanta, and San Francisco that he can actually build a good offense as well as a good whole team in San Francisco. So yes, he's my guy. Whether or not he's available, let's not get into that argument. But if he was, him and Robert Saleh sign me up all day and twice on Sunday.
Who and Robert Saleh?
Robert Saleh as the
who and him?
Kyle Shanahan and Kyle Robert Saleh.
Yeah. Well, that's like in 5 years going, whoa, I want to have Josh McCown as my head coach. I would trade draft capital to get Josh McCown as my head coach. And then we could go, well, we could have had him.
Could have had him, and could have finished 3 years of losing records, and then we would have fired him before he finally developed.
Okay, so of who is available, honestly, I want you guys to put me in my place with who you want as head coach. Leave it in the comments if you're listening to this later. Ben Johnson for Mayhem. Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator.
That's good. That's a good combination. That's honestly a good combination right there.
But God knows the Bears are just going to bring in a fucking 3-4 defensive coordinator and fuck this whole thing all up and start another rebuild.
No, if you listen
to rebuild within a rebuild.
If you listen to what Poles said today, he said we got pieces in place, so we're trying to find the right coach. So I think that's going to have to be part of it. Say, hey, man, you're going to have to bring somebody who's bringing a 4-3. So, I think that's going to be contingent upon that. So I see Chad says Joe Brady. Chad Speaker says Joe Brady.
Broski Bear says, do you stroke off to Josh McCown or something? No, I just hit 50, man. I can't jerk off anymore. I need to take a Viagra to jerk off. It's not worth it. But thank you for your interest, broski, in my personal life.
That's personal. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that what Mr. Mayhem got me stuck right there. He got me stuck. Mr. Mayhem got me stuck. I gotta admit, he got me stuck. Leroy Green says John Gruden. Now, John Gruden, I thought he's kind of interesting. I don't know what I don't think the game has passed him by. I mean, I know he had the issues with the emails and suing the league and all that. I mean, I get all that. But it's kind of interesting. John Gruden, he was turning the Raiders around before, he got let go. So I don't know, man. Antler says no Gruden, no ex-Packers.
Armando says in Drew Petzig we trust.
See, you started that. You started that. Now you got him going.
You guys are talking about John Gruden.
Hey.
John Gruden.
He's a winner.
That dude's been drinking a 18-pack of fucking Schlitz and eating a Chicago deep dish pizza for the last 10 years. Have you seen him? He's not in football-minded shape.
What you talking about? He gives a breakdown every week on of teams, man. He's still engaged.
You
don't think so?
Man. Not like he was.
He's not like he was, but he's still engaged.
He's an 18-pack slinging fucking deep dish pizza eating guy now, man.
Nah, man. Nah.
Gruden
still can coach, man.
He's not the Gruden QB coach Gruden anymore before he got destroyed by the Raiders.
But wait a minute. Let me ask you this.
Wait a second. You want John Gruden after he insulted black people?
Did he though? See, I don't get it.
Something that was a joke that other people had said. It wasn't just him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
the black community. I see what you're saying.
Let's be honest, okay? I mean,
someone I can have a conversation with is you.
I'm just saying, some people in the chat is not going to like this, but I'm going to be honest. There are certain conversations that are held in private that will not be held in public. So he having that conversation in a private email, I get it. Do I always like it? No, but there's conversations held all the time when you with your friend, you would have certain conversations that you would not have in public. I'm just going to say it like that. That's just a reality of it.
I love you saying that too, man.
Well, for those people who act like they don't have those conversations, let's be serious.
Agree more. And I didn't find what he said all that offensive.
I honestly didn't really pay a lot of attention to it because the thing that bothered me the most about that whole situation was he wasn't even employed by the NFL at the time. He was working for ESPN. So why are you holding something while he's not even working for the NFL while talking to somebody in the NFL? Why are you holding that against Gruden? That to me is just mind-boggling. Because I would hate to think that, a conversation I have with you on the phone, Shorty, can be stop me from getting a job from 15 years from now on a job that I'm not even working at right now. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, well, come on, man, stop playing.
Scroll says Gruden insulted my ancestors via email.
I'm like, come on, man, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, what? I mean, because when I started thinking, I'm like, his email when he was working for ESPN and the NFL's holding that against him?
That has nothing, like for me, that has nothing to do with Gruden. I almost forgot about that. For me, it's the fact that Gruden got like shunned away and has been out of the game for a while. And that kind of shun under the McCaskey ownership just is not going to fly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, I don't think that McCaskey's overlooked.
McCaskey's are woke as fuck.
Yeah. They won't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
who else, guys? I mean, this is going.
Now, let me ask you this question, man.
Fest.
What do you make of the Raiders waiting until today to fire Pierce? What do you think that was about?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know they fired him, did they?
Yeah, they fired him today. And I found that to be awfully odd.
Maybe something to do with how the team pined for him last year to be the head coach and they retained him.
Yeah, I just found, I mean, because I thought he said a couple of days ago, Davis, that Pierce was safe.
Yeah. Kenny says John Gruden won a Super Bowl off of Tony Dungy's roster and ironically played against his own in the Super Bowl. That was
yeah.
That was
I
crazy.
agree with that. I didn't say I wanted him as GM though. I don't want Gruden as a GM.
Well, you might want that.
Nah, I don't want him as a GM.
The Pete Carroll thing is weird. I agree. He's way
What is he, 74 years old, something like that?
Too old.
Yeah. Because I heard, them talking in the press conference today, they say they want somebody for the next 10, 15 years or something like that. Whether or not that happens, who knows? But here's the other thing, what I think about Vrabel. I think that Vrabel is pretty much a lock for New England. Because the way they got rid of Mayo after 1 year, that tells me, now I could be way off, but my thought is, that tells me that, man, they want Vrabel. Like, oh, Vrabel's available. Let's get rid of Mayo right now.
Yeah, the fact that he was available last year.
Yeah, but I think they had already promised Mayo the job. So they already promised Mayo the job. So now that they gave it to him, now, okay, you had your 1 year. You're out of here, buddy. Let's get Vrabel.
Yeah. That would be a good fit for him. That makes sense to me. What's up, Pipeline Jay? What's up, Squeegee? By the way, Squeegee's going to be our guest this Thursday. All
right, Squeegee. Good to see you, Plank. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I think, like I said, I got to go back to Mr. Mayhem, man. I'm telling you, Mr. Mayhem got me intrigued with that Johnson and Salah, man. Give me a better combination than that doesn't say McCown in it. I'm listening.
Anything with Johnson in it, huh?
No. Not anything with Johnson. Because I have some concerns about Johnson as well. Let me be honest.
Anything with Johnson. Oh.
I have some concerns about Johnson because I don't know if he's a leader or not. I mean, I know he's a good play caller, and he has demonstrated him to be a good play caller, but is he truly a leader? I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Who do you think is more of a leader? Josh McCown or Ben Johnson?
That's a good question, sir. That's a good question. I would say McCown.
There you have it.
I would say McCown was more of a leader than Johnson, from what I know. Because I don't know much about Johnson.
Because you have proof over the years of McCown.
Because I have seen him being a leader as a quarterback, but I don't know if he can be a leader as a coach.
Scrolls is saying PJ is just curious about Johnson.
Yeah, Scrolls and I have a unique relationship. Man, great profile pick by the way. There, Scrolls, great profile pick.
Yeah, didn't he change it?
Yes,
he changed it a few times.
Well,
where is it? Let's see. Yeah, that was similar to his first pick. Wasn't the second one like a lady in the with a bikini on in the pool or something, or was that somebody else I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I know he had a different one. I forgot what it was, though, but it was different. It was different.
Arthur Marston, thank you for joining us, is saying Nick Saban.
Oh no. We seen that play out in Miami, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, he does have a quarterback now. What's up, Pipeline Jay? Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, I think, I don't know what else to say about this. I'm not happy with any of these candidates. Ben Johnson is the most intriguing, but the unknowns are so unknown. At least there is a visual resume. There's a physical resume that you can see that would lead you to put pieces together to build the idea of a McCown being a head coach for the Bears. There's more to that than there is for Ben Johnson for me.
Let me make a case for Ben Johnson. I don't know if he's my number one guy or not. I just don't know. I told you who I'm all in on Shanahan, although he's not available. However, uh, Ben Johnson, my case for him would be because I don't know about his leadership, he has to have a strong defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. Leader. He's a leader. He has a good scheme. He has a scheme that we can adapt to. His offensive coordinator would have to be a good leader also, because I don't know how much of a leader Ben Johnson is. His offensive coordinator would have to command the room.
Let me ask another question. Who would you have more faith in said head coach hiring that offensive coordinator, Josh McCown or Ben Johnson?
Well, I think they would look for different qualities in the coordinator. Whereas Ben Johnson, he don't need a good play caller because he's a play caller. He just needs someone who can control and lead the room per se, because while he's doing other things as a head coach, because he's going to be the play caller, but he needs that offensive coordinator to control the room when he's off being the head coach. Whereas McCown, he needs a good play caller. So there's different criteria, in my opinion.
Pipeline J says, if you're going to pick an inexperienced guy, why not Ben Johnson? Because Ben Johnson is more inexperienced than Josh McCown. How many passes have you seen Ben Johnson throw in the NFL?
Well, you don't necessarily need to be, because look at you don't have to necessarily be an NFL coach or an NFL ex-player to be a good coach.
No, but it does help.
Nah, Bill Belichick was never a player. McVay was never a player.
McVay came from a long line of.
Shanahan was never a player.
Shanahan came from a long line of.
LaFleur was never a player. Andy Reid was a player, but he was so far on the bench that So you don't necessarily have to be a good ex-player, in my opinion. I think you have to be able to lead. That's the thing. You have to be able to lead. That's one thing. Well, again, I go back to because I have a lot of respect for Detroit. What Detroit did, one, they hired a leader of men, for one.
A leader of men or a leader of men?
But for two, they were patient. They was patient with him. And that's what I'm saying, because so many people thought when they traded for Goff and got rid of Stafford, they was going to release Goff because they wanted to just keep the draft picks. But they were patient and they stuck with it. And I have a lot of respect for that. And because of that, because I remember this is the second year I watched Hard Knocks. The first year I watched Hard Knocks, Detroit was there. And I was watching how he was building that team then. The camaraderie between Aaron Glenn and Deuce Staley. How they was going at it in practice, how Campbell was leading them in. I mean, again, I didn't know at that time that Detroit was going to be what they are, but you saw how they was building that team. And that's what I'm saying. So they were patient. I don't know if we in Chicago will be that patient. I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm fearful of. We're not that patient because, we either get rid of our leaders and as our players, or doesn't let our coaches keep on developing our guys, or they're not developing them fast enough. There's just issues that we just lack patience around here, and therein lies the problem.
That's the one thing that you are correct on there, for sure. This fan base we're so impatient, you would think that we're used to winning.
Yeah, we are really impatient.
We sell out those. It starts in like 3 weeks. It's just gonna reset. We're like goldfish. We forgot everything that just happened. We're all gonna be. Well, the majority of us are going to be like overly over the top, optimistic, I should say, and no matter who we bring in, we're gonna try to find the best in that head coach. We're all going to talk ourselves into it. Then we're all going to get bit in the ass again by this firm that's hired this next head coach.
We just got to be patient with it. But here's the thing. I think what Kevin Warren said today was telling. He said you have to find a coach that can identify with the city. One of the things that Mike Ditka was, he was a Chicago Bear. He understood the culture. He built a hard-nosed team that shows much or identified much like the city is. So having that, you got to have that hard-nosed type of.
I got two questions for you.
Uh-huh.
I got two questions for you to build off of that.
Okay.
Did he ever call plays?
No.
Okay.
That's my knowledge. I think he did. Wait a minute. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
No, he was a special team
coordinator. Oh, you mean before then? Because he did call some plays as a head coach.
Yeah, but he was a special teams coordinator.
Yes, he was.
Was Josh McCown a Bear?
Yes, he was.
Okay. We got two things that are similar there.
Yes.
Both never called plays. Both were Chicago Bears.
One was a Hall of Famer. One was.
We're not talking about Hall of Fame right now. We're just talking about apples and apples.
But Mike Ditka was a Bear. McCown was a
Bear.
Was a passerby.
Well, Mike Ditka was a Bear.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He was a Bear.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's a difference because McCown having 12 teams, I don't know which one he really identifies as, but he was a Bear. Being Ditka, he was a Bear. Now Singletary, back in the day, I would have thought he could have been a decent head coach here, but not now. I think his time has passed. Curtis Seal, I'm addressing you on that one. But yeah, I just think that we need a player or a coach that can identify with the culture of Chicago. That's why I like David Montgomery. Montgomery, man, he was a Bear, and him being that Bear, he was that gritty. I'll say this right now: if Detroit wins the Super Bowl and they have salary cap issues when they let go of Montgomery, please bring him back. I would love to see him share the backfield with Swift or somebody else because I love his attitude and his work ethic.
Sorry. Armando. I'm sorry, Shorty. I take back what I said. I thought you meant Cade McNown. I want Cade McNown as the Bears head coach. Oh, man. All right. I've clearly lost. All I can do is speak my mind.
And you did a good job of it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You presented a good argument.
Thank you. I tried to come well prepared for it.
I didn't, but
yeah, you threw me all the fuck off too. Like last second, hey,
I winged it.
You want to do a show tonight? I'm like, I got one going in 5 minutes, man. You knew it was going. You saw the post. You're like, hey, I'm gonna hop on with Shorty.
I didn't see the post. I don't never see the post beforehand.
That's right.
You know that.
You barely even subscribe to your own channel.
Okay. So I didn't know.
Well, my brother, I didn't want to keep this too long because I wanted to wrap this. I asked Aldo if I could hop on with him on the Barroom Network for Bare Their Souls tonight to give my rant, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that now. I've been utterly shot out of the sky by you guys. So
they started at what, 8:30?
They started half an hour ago, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to remind you.
We got 75 in the chat over here. All right.
Yeah.
So I invite you guys that's watching us when we get done going over to Barroom Network and watch Aldo.
Yeah, if you want to hear some more of me ranting about Josh McCown over there, yeah. I might just tell him I'm going to spare you, Aldo. I don't need to do this. I've already been shot out of the sky. But you guys can prepare for this to be your new head coach. Drew Petzing, guys. Drew Petzing.
I bet you him and Kyler Murray had a lot of eye-to-eye talks.
Oh man. I bet you're right. That's what made him. That's why he's in the line to be our next head coach. He could see eye to eye with the quarterback. Literally. Not see through the eyes of, but eye to eye.
I'm trying to tell you.
All right. Well,
Cat said he looks like Matt Nagy.
if Matt Nagy was a vampire.
He looks like there's one actor. I can't think of the guy's name or what he played in, but he reminds me of this one actor.
I can't think of him either. Well, let's wrap this up, man. You guys have put me in my place. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you all for joining us here tonight. Appreciate it. It was a pop-up spur of the moment show, but man, thank you. The Scrolls, Chad Speaker, Plank, Broski Bear.
Yeah, appreciate you guys, man.
Curtis Seal, Pipeline J, Armando Lara
Jr.
Clark Khan. That's a new name.
Yeah, we had a bunch of newbies in here tonight. Colossal 66.
Eric Draven.
Fartman.
He said Fartman.
Kenny. Hopping in with us again. Slick Sophistication. Laz.
Arthur Martin.
Mr. Mayhem. Cliff Victoria.
Squeegee.
Cliff had enough of this fucking Josh McCown talk a long time ago and hopped over to the bar room.
Thank you guys all for joining us tonight. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Tony Moy, Chris Foster.
Make sure you tune in Thursday night. Ray Donovan. Make sure you tune in Thursday night. We'll be having a show there, and our guest will be Squeegee. Am I correct?
Yep, Squeegee's our guest Thursday night from chat. Can't wait to talk to you, Squeegee. Hear what you have to say. Appreciate you. He was also in our chat tonight, so thank you for hanging out with us.
And Colossal 66. Also, guys, for those of you who are in chat and wants to join our show, send an email to Shorty letting you know that you want to be a guest on our show.
Yeah. Bears Country Podcast at gmail.com. Join us like Squeegee is going to join us this Thursday night.
Yeah, hop on, man. Give us your opinions. Always be respectful, of course. But yeah, hop on, join us, man, and give us a chat. Give us a shout out.
We also have, we're trying to line up a couple of ex-Bears to join us on the show. One of them being Jerry Azuma.
Zuma.
And another one being Jim Miller, former quarterback for the Bears. And also looking to have Eric Kramer back on again soon here too. So make sure you guys set your notifications, like, subscribe, all that jazz. We appreciate you guys.
We truly do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Without you, we wouldn't do this.
Plank said he'd be there Thursday too.
Awesome. If you want to join us, send us an email, Plank, if you're off. We'd love to have you. You can join Chad. Squeegee. So, this is what happens to me when I turn 50. Now I'm getting tired now.
Easy now, bro. Easy.
Can't even imagine how you feel at 700. No, you're at 500. Never mind. What's up, Hair Bear?
What? Hair Bear there? Oh man,
exciting.
What's up, Hair Bear?
You came in just in time for the closer, Hair Bear.
Hair Bear is the man.
Pipeline Jay, I'm going to end this on this. God help us find the coach. So true. We'll see you guys this Thursday. We love and appreciate you guys. We're going to end this on a 1, 2, 3 Bears. A 1.
Let's end it on 1, 2, 3 coach.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Coach.
Coach.